All right, so here we go. Are you ready? Start your engines. So we got so this I'm just gonna let me just jump in and I'll share my screen here. Hopefully we'll get the sound, everything's good. We'll headphones on. Actually you guys can't see if I do that, you can't see the other screen. All right, so let's do this.
Steve, do you find that Studio One is easy to work with for something like this, or
They're pretty much they're all good. Remind me again what you're in. Are you in Logic?
I'm in, I'm in Logic, but it looks almost like Logic and seems to operate the same.
Yeah,
I would,
I think they all do the same thing. They all do the same thing. So Logic, Pro Tools, Studio One,
okay.
it just really depends on like I've even thought I switched from Pro Tools like I don't know a year and a half ago, and now I'm considering switching to Logic or something. But it's only deep in the back of my mind. I'm not seriously thinking about it because they're all the same, and I'm like I'm I don't need to swap. And the only reason I swapped from Pro Tools to Studio One is because I could use all my same shortcuts. So that was kind of like the selling point for me. But at the end of the day, they're all the same. And the only reason I like Logic so much is that you pay one price for it, and you have it, you don't have to pay another upgrade. And it's like, oh, now you have, because with Studio One, you have to pay $100 or something every year or every whenever they have the new one. And it's like, man, I
Mhm.
bought it once. I like the idea of buying something once,
Yeah.
but um, but anyway,
Yeah,
it's
Logic automatically updates. It's
yeah.
kind of nice that way. Yeah.
I love that. And I think Logic is number two, meaning I think Pro Tools is the most popular, and then I think Logic is underneath there. And I think
Mm.
Studio is a little bit further down. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you can do what you've got to do. And in this song, we do a lot of automation. This is a big learning curve for people that maybe don't know how to do as much automation. This is a big deal. Automation in the filters that we use, like the EQs, and we're changing some of the frequencies and the automation in the volume. So just before we dive in, these ones, and for the album, if you're just tuning in, so this is Dark and Mysterious Pulses. If you go to apmmusic.com, you can check out an album called Dark Pulsating Arpeggios. And that's kind of like the idea. So you can kind of look through that album and you can be like, okay, well, I see what I know what we're going for this. And so it's dark and mysterious pulses, what we're calling it. And the beats per minute going to go from 66 to 99, just to kind of, yeah, those are going to be the beats per minute. Try and keep on minor keys if you even do minor keys. I didn't actually even do any chords in this song. Like, I believe a lot of the stuff is just pads, like a one finger pad, and then I do a couple of little melodies throughout. So I'm not even actually doing chords. So having a minor mightn't even it might even be hard to. I do have a minor third in there. This is the key of C or C minor, and so I do have a flat third, which is the E flat but I also do some chromatic notes in it as well. So just making sure it's a kind of a sadder or not a bright and happy sound. Pads and sci-fi sounds, lots of automation as we just talked about. So now I'm just going to show you quickly what I have here, what I end up doing. We have two up here in the blue is two sidechain filters, sidechain kicks, I should say. They just are triggering sidechain things for me, compression and things that are going on. So here I have a pad. I'll just play this pad. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can.
So if you can kind of hear that pumping kind of sound, that's the sidechain dun 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 dun. So that's that side chain happening. Then I added another pad that's like a pulse pad. And that's with a through Contact, and that's emotional piano. It has all these different kind of sounds which I'm just playing around with. Again, if you don't have these sounds or plugins, just go for what I'm going for. So like over here, I've put a bunch of reverb. I put a delay on it. I have a waves delay that I use a lot just because I know how it works and I know where the knobs are without even thinking. I just go straight to it. It's a H delay. I like this one a lot. And then I use a Valhalla because I love these reverbs. I just use them a lot. But if you don't have it, again, just use what you got. Just use the idea of what you have. I got an EQ. Again, this I use a lot of wave stuff because I just have a lot of it and I've been using it for a while. And then I do the side chain. This is an API by Waves again that I use a lot of for my side chaining. It's a fast attack compressor, and I just like how it works. So now we're going over to the next pulse sound, which is I believe it's the same piano but just a different sound. It's a reversed one, a reverse sound. It kind of sounds like this when it comes in. It's pretty quiet, but that's okay. It just has like different sounds and effects and just gives it textures. And so then we have another contact, which is we're using something called Ethereal Earth. And this is really cool. I haven't played with this much, but it has two different sounds you can blend. And I have more of the A sound. I love this Shaku Cloud. It's a really cool sound. Oh, that sound. And then I think I just put some delays on it. Yep, I have my delays that I just tweaked. And then I have a melody. Just the same emotional piano, but just has some effects on this preset. Then I just copied this whole MIDI down, and I used a sound from Omnisphere, which this has got a lot of sounds in it. It's kind of an expensive plugin, like $400, I think it is. So use what you got. You don't have to get this, but use what you got. There's so many things you can do with just. That's a cool little sound. It's just cool. You'll see how I found it in the other one. And then I've got another melody coming in here, which is by Omnisphere, and they're using the Juno, a Juno 60. Very sci-fi.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. The other one I didn't show was another Omnisphere pad up here, which is just another dark kind of sound. It's that main pad, I think it is. Oh, here it is. Oops. Now that sound, you can kind of hear a beat there. It's like how you get that is by doing this side chain here. And so you got to learn how to do these side chains. It's a game changer. So let me play that again. You can hear it. If I take this side chain off, that's off. It doesn't have a beat. It doesn't have movement in it. So when you put it on, you can hear that beat, which is the pulsing sound. Okay, yeah, good. Just reading the chat here. Yes, output movement would be great. Plugin, absolutely. Output has some really cool stuff, and that would have been a kind of a go-to. I didn't even think about it. They have a lot of stuff. I love output. Lisa says, can you show us how to create a sidechain like that? Absolutely. I did show go back to the first video. You can definitely kind of walk through, but I'm going to do a quick walkthrough just now, just to kind of give you, so you can kind of like understand it on both sides. You can kind of see how I really dive into it. So I just created a drum kick. This is just a drum I just added a kick drum like that on just a MIDI, and it's just an instrument. But you could do the same by loading in any sound, and you could even just create it by doing a wave or something. Um, I could just create a stereo wave and grab any sound that I have. Like let's even just grab one of these guys here. I'm just going to copy this up, delete this here, and just drag it down, which converts it to audio. And then you'll see in this track here, there should be a kick in there. Yeah, maybe there's nothing on this. So you can just drag any sound or any kick you have. But this is a kick. I've got it triggering on, if you zoom in here, you'll see that there's lots and lots of these kicks. They're on the 8th. Oops. So it's like kick, 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 kick. And I am sending it. I'm actually going to unsend it. I'm just going to send it to the main, so you'll hear it if I saw it. So that's all it's going there, but I'm not sending it to my main mix. I'm going to send it to a side chain, which is the first. I believe I'm sending it to the. See if I can just undo that. Yeah, I'm just sending it to the side chain. So that's why you can't hear it. But now what that's actually doing, this is the kick there, the one that I just broke up there. That is getting sent to this piano, emotional piano contact here, and I have a plugin going here, and that's listening to the side chain. So if you go here, you can see it's listening to the side chain 2, which is side chain 2 here. So that's kind of like how it works. The best thing to do would pull up a YouTube video, how to do a side chain pulsing sound in Logic or in Cubase or in Studio, whatever your DAW is, because you might be on a different version. And so it's very easy. And someone will walk you through it in like 15 minutes. And once you learn how to do it, it is so cool. It is so cool. So check it out. Watch the video a few times to kind of see how I actually set it up from the beginning. But let's play the track from the beginning, because I don't think you guys have heard it. So it's very kind of dark, very kind of mysterious, very kind of uh, very kind of like ambient, but also like it has that pulsing thing. Excuse me. So I think what I want to do in this one is there's a lot of automation going. So right here, you've got a high frequency that's being automated on this pad sound. And I'll show you what, you can kind of see it move. As it goes up and down, like I've automated this. Now I've also got I've actually got a lot of automation going. So these ones here, they're all fading in this melody, dun, 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 dun. And I kind of I muted these reverse pads because I think they're getting in the way a little bit too much. But the first thing I want to do is actually send things to the right channels because it's not quite, it's not clear enough for me. So this part here is a pad, so I'm actually going to send that to the strings group I have ready. This one's a pad, these are pads. This is a pad as well, so I'm going to send that all to the strings. And this is the melody. I'm going to send the melody to a piano that I'm going to retitle as, here it is here. I'm going to retitle this as melody. And we can get rid of some of these other buses we don't need. Clean things up just a bit. We've got strings, we've got melody, we've got plate, we've got reverb, we've got the mix. Good. So I'm just cleaning it up to make sure things are a little bit, I can see where everything is. This reverse piano, I don't know if I like it. Or actually, you know what? I'm only going to bring it in when we have this B section. I can't turn down these volumes here because I've already got them automated. I actually have to go over to the main bus, which is another good reason for having buses, and then turn the overall bus down of all those pads. thing then to come in on that when that B section kind of comes back in. That delay is going too long. So I'm going to try and find a hit, or maybe this is one way to kind of do it. You can kind of add another one of your sounds, and we'll just create I'm just going to find a hit on this plugin here. We're just going to go to hits. Hits. Electronic percussion, maybe. That's kind of cool. I'm going to grab that one. I like that, actually. That's a bit of a tail. So I'm just going to grab it over here, record this little line, just a hit. Then we are going to create a audio track, drum hit, stereo. Send this to nowhere. That's fine. Maybe I'll send it to the mix. Then we just drag it down, and it should convert it into an audio. There it is. So this, and then we can get rid of that. And this is the sound where, one of the sounds where I'll double that and I'll reverse it, which I have a little shortcut for, which I took the time to create. So that's always a good thing. And so you have that. That reverse piano, I'm not liking it. Keeps coming in at wrong times. So I'm just going to consolidate that, make it one kind of file here. And I'm going to actually double that as like a beat thing. So it's going to come in on maybe every half note. Let's see. See what it sounds like right here. It needs to be right here. Right there. So All right. Let me see the. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Lisa, you've been doing a lot of reversing on these cues. Yeah, very cool. Accent and the chord changes. Yeah, very. Yeah, that's a great idea. Has worked really well. All right, so let's get back to the beginning. I think that sound might be a bit too much. You know what? I'm going to do one more thing. Give it that shimmery kind of sound. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm just going to copy this track down. This is the lead melody in that B section. I'm just going to copy it down onto a whole nother track. Move this out of the way. Onto a whole nother track, and I'm going to put a shimmer on this one, which is where is it? Valhalla. Oops, lost it. Valhalla shimmer. And then with this one, I'm just going to give it a nice big shimmer sound, but I'm only going to fade it in. Yep. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fade this in. Hopefully I can figure out how to put an automation on the I guess I'm just actually fading in that channel, so it's actually not an automation on the plugin, it's just a volume that I would use. So I'm going to add that as an automation, and then we are going to put an edit point there, and we're going to fade in and out as we go. See what this sounds like. When that new section comes in, I'm going to turn up that shimmer just a little bit more. All right, I'm liking this. It's very kind of sci-fi, very kind of mysterious, dark, otherworldly kind of thing, and I like this. I think this is going to be a good album. So the only thing I wanted to do is this kick drum. I wanted to boost up some of the low stuff, so I wanted really a more of a thump kind of thing that happens on this guy down here. This beat that comes in every. It's not a beat. It's just that it comes in every half every half beat or every second. One, two. It comes in on one, two, three, four. It comes on the one and then the two. One, two, three. It comes on the one and three. So we're just going to boost this up a bit and maybe turn this down. We'll see. Right here. Still needs a bit more of a button ending or a bit more of a kind of a reverse thing or something to kind of really give it a completed ending. So we're actually going to go to these drum. I'm actually going to create a drum kit and go to a cymbal. Let's just add a drum kit.
Add some shimmer to it. That'd be good.
Yeah, that shimmer's great. I know, I love that shimmer. That's a great plug-in for that sound. I really like it. So let's grab a drum kit. Toontrack is fine. Actually, we'll do a addictive drums. We're just going to do a cymbal hit, and this is how you create. I like that one there. Actually, I like that. So what we're going to do is just bring that out here, record. Let's do a kick while we're here. We just added a low kick there. So now I'm just going to drag those down again. What we did before, you just drag it down or figure out how to do it in your DAW to convert that into audio, just so you can see it a little bit clearer. Now we have a reverse we have a cymbal. And I'm just going to hide that. We don't need it. We don't need that. So now I'm just going to double this, get rid of that. And I'm just going to move it up here. I'm going to do one more because this is going to have the kick on it, and this one is going to have the reverse cymbal. So I'm just going to do it at the end here. So this is going to be a reverse, so we'll double it and reverse it. I'm going to cut it to right where the hit is. Maybe we'll do the tiniest fade. Good, and then we're going to, this is a kick here. See how it sounds. So it hit that kick. Now that kick is not the right sound. So I'm actually going to transpose it down an octave. Let's see what this does. Oh, that went up, sorry. Minus 12. That was cool. What did minus 24? That's pretty cool. Let's just go back up to minus 12. Now I'm going to put a bunch of a reverb on this. So it's going to be like ringing out. Good. That reverb's a little bit too bright. So I'm just going to add my own reverb. Cut off some of the highs. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to take out some of the, put a bit more punch into it and take out some of the highs. Yeah, that's great. It definitely has that low hit. Oh, get rid of some of this. All right, let's go back a little bit further. I might add that kick there as well, where it kind of comes in, and just turn it down a bit. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that for a first mix. So the first thing, let's just have a look at some of our levels here. I've been watching the levels a little bit over here on my outboard gear, which is my just my interface has a level on it. So I'm watching that to make sure my levels are right, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's just go over to our mastering chain. There's not that much mixing that needs to be done because it's not, I've only have a few channels going. And so, so let's just see on my mastering chain here. It's a bit loud when that comes in. I'm going to automate that down. getting close. I'm actually going to automate some of these tails off. These last, they're still ringing. They're ringing out too long. The pad here. Yeah, so that needs to go down. This one. Actually, I could probably even do. Let me go in and turn this. I turn down the velocity. I'm actually going to automate the string volume down as well. Okay, so it's not just the pads, it's actually the I think it's the delay on the melodies that I'm hearing a lot of. That.
I had a similar problem with one of those cues and I couldn't find it for the life of me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I did. I eventually did, but it took a while. And I'm like, geez.
I know it takes a bit. So I found it, so it's the volume here. So let's add that and as an automation, and then we're going to just turn that down, do a fade on that. This is how I quickly do my fades. Cool, I like that. Let's just do a little fade on the mastering. I mean the main. Oh, and then the beginning. Do my first bounce. Lisa asked for these. It's okay for a sustained ending after the button. Yes, it is. It's okay, I think. I did have it actually brings up a good conversation because I did have a publisher I was talking to this week, and they like kind of no tails after the button. So they like dum, and pretty much that's it. Uh, I usually do a bit of a tail, so when you finish mine, it's like dum, and it fades down because they can't add that, but they can always just trim it if they want. But yeah, but for these, I'm fine with what we got here. These should have little fades on them. Yeah, I'm fine with that ending there. So I'm going to call this one Deep Space. deep space within or deep. Yeah, I'll do deep space within. There we go. Deep space within mix one. 24-bit, 48. Always do your stuff at the at 48, 24 because that's what the industry usually wants. I'm just going to bounce down a compressed MP3 at the same time. That's usually what I listen back on, and I have listened what it sounds like with the MP3. That's usually what I listen back on. All right, and okay. And we are bouncing down. There we go, guys. So who's ready to try one themselves? Yep. Yeah, it's very cool. If you haven't done any of the automation stuff, um, this is a great one to kind of practice your automation and kind of learning how to do automating on your filters and stuff like that, because you can create a simple pad or a simple any simple sound. It could be electric guitar, it could be, and you can get it to move. You can have it creating this movement just by automating some of your frequencies. You know, you could have a bump that kind of goes up and moves around a little bit in the frequencies, like a little bit of the lows, and then moves and goes more highs and then less lows. So you can have this stuff kind of moving around without you doing much, and it's just a simple guitar track. You can really, so if you don't know how to do it, this is going to be an excellent one for you guys. So automation is really key in this one. And yeah,
Yeah, thank you. You
awesome.
you showed us a lot of really cool things on. I use automation a lot on those cues because it's easier than trying to balance the volume.
Yep.
But yeah, so much better because you can get more detailed in there. And you showed some things that were, I wouldn't imagine adding like that drum tick or whatever it was to kind of underneath it, give it some help for the symbol.
Yep.
And yeah, that's a lot of fun to do all
Yep.
that because it gets real distinct and it adds to the overall flavor. Your stuff is so smooth. I get to aspire to that.
Absolutely. And sometimes that some of that smoothness that you might hear is just even making sure your edits are there's no like rounding things up into the note and rounding things off. Like when I did my reverse symbols and stuff, I was making sure that I, made it smoother or made it kind of round, like fading into it. And whenever you do a hit or something, if you want to stop that, like at the end of that hit, always making sure there's a fade on that. So I'm doing a lot. There's a lot of
Yeah,
small tiny
yeah.
fades, and
Yeah,
that
you
helps.
add the fades into it too, because they all have a little different purpose. And
Mhm.
if you can recognize how they're going to affect your music, then you have more of a skill
Yep,
onto.
absolutely. And your music is changing, and also the more you add stuff, the more your texture. It's almost like painting or something. If you have the same, 5 colors or 6 colors that everyone else has, if you just use those colors, well, you don't have much. But when you blend it, and you're all of a sudden you've come up with a new who that that no one's that you don't see that often or something, and it becomes your thing. And it's the same with me. So when I stack those pads, I'm creating these sounds. And as you saw, there was a reverse one that I liked when I recorded it, but I didn't like it. It didn't make the mix. I ended up muting it and just hiding. I didn't use it because it was too stuff was coming. I didn't like it. I'm the boss. You're the boss when you do your music, and you're like, if you don't like it, mute it. Even if you went to the trouble of finding it, if you don't like it, just go ahead and mute it. And so creating those 3 or 4 pads that I had, it's kind of a unique sound that not many people would have. Could people have it? Yeah, yeah. If they can use the same plugins and they can still, but not many. And the more you layer it, the more of them, the more original, more sound that no one has got that. But then sometimes you can run into troubles of having too much of the same frequency or too much lows, and then you stack it, and then another more lows, more lows. So sometimes with the certain sound, you might want to cut off the lows and have that one just the high stuff, and then go to the other one, cut off the high stuff, and then you're creating this thing that has highs, but then the lows is in the next one, and then I like that little shimmer idea that I didn't want to kind of put the shimmer on the whole sound. I wanted it to come in a little, like kind of come in and a little bits at a time, and just kind of fade in and then fade out and fade in, and when I was creating this, I don't know why, but I definitely had that Interstellar movie, if you've ever seen it, where he's kind of floating in space, and it's
No.
very kind of like it's out there, and the music's so cool, and it's just like, so I had that spacey kind of definitely vibes going on um, when I was riding this one. But yeah, it's totally fun. Absolutely. These are really quick, like when you first do them, they might take 4, 5, 6 hours when you're actually learning all the how to automate all the stuff. But then after a while, when you get it really fast, you can be in and out in a couple of hours, 2 or 3, 4 hours. This one here, is like probably about 2 hours. And I'll probably do a couple more mixes. So, 2.5 hours or something, and of course, when you're first starting it, it's going to take you a lot longer because you're trying to figure stuff out. You don't even know what reverb you like, and you don't know how to do an automation. So it's going to take you time. But when you figure all that stuff out, it's just like put this, that, don't, no, don't, and it's just like they're pretty easy to do, and they get used a lot. They need tons of these kind of ones, and you just don't know where. Like we were just talking about this off the call or just before we recorded the call, but we're just talking about you just don't know when the stars kind of align, and that track was in the right place at the right time, and it just suited those characters when they're over there talking or whatever. And there you go, lots and lots of placements. Yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead, Lisa. Or did you mean to push your hand?
No. Oh yeah, I did. Hold on, Tony, let me call you back. So that's somebody I'm coaching. I'm starting to get coaching.
Oh, great.
Um, no, what I was gonna say was what I use when I do one, and it becomes the template. And then if there's
Yes.
something that you don't like, you can put it aside
Mhm.
and use it for the next one. That's really valuable because you've spent a lot of time already, and that just it makes it even more fun actually, because then
Yes.
you're going to create a whole different something,
Yep.
from the next one.
Absolutely. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, the one thing, coming back to getting sync placements and, looking over my last statement, I just had so many placements from songs that I have to look up the songs because I don't even remember what piece of music it was. And so I look it up and be like, oh yeah, I remember that one. I think I was just playing around with these ideas and just making sure that you just show up for those couple of hours, and it could be broken out over a week or 2 weeks. You do 15, 20 minutes, but you show up, you do the work, and then you finish the song, and then you just get it signed somewhere, and you just don't know when it gets a placement, and it comes back with. I always say you send them out there once you get them signed, and they come back with pockets full of change, or sometimes it comes back with a nice big check, or sometimes it's just they keep coming back every month. They just keep coming back with little bits, and it's like, well, gosh, that really does add up. And but these are great. And so you just show up and you do more and you build your catalog and you get better and you get faster. Everything just gets better and faster and quicker and more and better and more and better.
Yeah. So
Oh,
what I've done is I bought a laptop, a used refurbished Apple laptop.
right.
So inexpensive, and I can just transfer all of that onto the laptop. So when I go to my job, because I get a lot of downtime,
Yep,
I can just start playing around and working on stuff that I've already started. So I'm pretty
absolutely.
excited about that,
Yep.
because I can travel and do all that, and
That's
have
great. Yeah, laptops are really good for that. And yeah, absolutely. Especially if you've got downtimes and yeah, that's
yeah,
absolutely those are great. So
yeah, I'm
well,
excited.
cool guys. Awesome. I'm going to let everyone go. This was really fun. This is really exciting. This one will be due for this album if you're part of the album. If you want to submit one, this will be due by the next listening session, like basically in 30 days. Or yeah. So send them over, try them out, and send them over, and we'll put an album together of these.
Okay.
Sounds good. Awesome, guys.
Thank
We'll see
you.
you.
Thank you, Steve.
No worries.
Bye,
Have a great week.
guys.